Hello there. This is only One Kenobi here. Only one. Now, this one I love. Hate this figure and card back. I'm really disappointed with lots of this figure, and I love it as well. It's a bit of a confusing one. Where do I begin? Should we start with a negative and then we can end on a positive? Well, the negative is the fact that this figure, just every time I go in my loose room, I beg your pardon, he's fallen over me. Look at him now. Can you not see he's leaning back? He's desperate to fall backwards. It is so hard to get him to pose. It's a terrible design. I don't know if that's just mine, but he's got... I don't know. No, this is depressing me. Should we start with what is good? Now, the figure looks amazing. Look at it. That's the best ever sculpt or look they've ever made for Boba Fett in 3 3/4 inch. Amazing. Almost perfect, apart from the fact that he doesn't stand up. Look at him, man. He's leaning. The rangefinder also does not articulate. That would be really nice if they did that. But if you know my channel, since the inception of my channel, I have talked about wanting this card back in the vintage collection, to which, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Well done, Hasbro, and thank you very much for doing that. So, it was a dead cert. It went without saying they needed to put this in the vintage collection. Which leads on to another negative. But, they've had that card back so many times. That one up there, whatever you want to call that, the Fireball Fett, Flamethrowing Fett, whatever, the classic. But that was always a favourite of mine. But here's another negative, right? This card stock is terrible. It's really thin. Not just this one, all the modern TVC, it was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. What I really dreamt of was like a Boba Fett on that Sky card, the blue Sky card back, I call it, with the thick thick card stock of the originals. Now, I tell you what, I don't have a Fett to show you, but just so happens to be next to me here, I have Dengar, which is quite appropriate because, he's a bounty hunter, and you'll obviously get an idea of the card stock. But there's something about the originals that were really, you won't be able to tell, but just the way they were printed on the card as well. They had this kind of like a rough look. These other ones are really like super shiny as well. I don't like that about them. I like the imperfection on the surface of these ones, but just thicker cardstock. I don't know, man. What went wrong? The figure looks... I'm going to have to take him off here because he's spinning around, but he looks amazing. Look at him. That's brilliant. But I've had to try and figure out how to get him to stand. Bear with me. Let me lower this down. Because I know he's got a backpack, but I've tried to lean him forward. I've tried pivoting that there. It's just ridiculous. I've had him like walking. So he's like taking a step forward just to give him some leverage by raising his back foot like that. But gravity always prevails. That's actually probably better. That's all right like that. I've got him now. But look how good he is. That's what I mean. It's like love-hate. You can't argue with how good that figure looks. The only other gripe with it would be the rangefinder does not come down, which is a really, one could argue that's a cheap move or whatever, unexcusable. They could have made a definitive Fett here, but having said that, they're yet to make a definitive Fett, which is exciting because one day they really will make a Fett that just absolutely blows all the others out of the park. So overall, I'm again thankful for Hasbro for doing this. I've had this on my wish list right from the beginning, but it could have been so much better as well. Cardstock, the figure, everything else. And imagine that on an unpunched card, just like the originals. In fact, I'm talking about the originals so much, I'm going to go and get one. Let's get an unpunched one for you. This one here, the VC186 unpunched. Really good. Imagine this on blue sky. Oh, that would have been something special. Again, let's give you an idea of the stock of this. I don't know if you'll ever notice it, but see, look at that. Got a lovely finish, these card backs. There it is, unpunched. Bear with me. I'm going to make this go higher again. Just want to get a higher vantage point. And no, it's not. Anyway, trust me, it's thicker card. Well, I mean, one could argue that's thinner. I tell you what doesn't warp and what is thick is the original 80s stock. That is really good. I've got a few of them now on the wall. And that's one right there. That there. So I was thinking about all these card backs and all these science experiments I keep doing. And the warping that goes on. And where's he gone, my Luke? I've got a Luke Endor that I've got magnets on at the minute. And it's funny, really, that never would have... It might have happened. I can't really comment on the 80s line. I don't have enough of them. But all the ones I've got, which go right the way back to 1983 and mainly, they all don't... none of them look like they're going to warp at the bottom. It's just the thinness. And I think if you've got really thick cardstock, like I tell you what, the carbonized cards, they're not going to warp. Let me show you one. God, I can't sit still. I'm supposed to be talking about Fett and I'm talking about every other card back in here. Like, these are really good. The card of that is real thick, man. That ain't gonna warp. Anyway, so that is that, really. You know, I've talked about this figure. I've reviewed this figure before. I just wanted to get some things off my chest about it. Again, when I went into the room before, my loose room, he was lying flat again, but he looks good. I love the backpack there. I like the colour of that. I don't like the plain green backpacks you get. I've got a 6-inch Fett I never opened, but I don't wish to because the backpack's crap. It's just like plain green, no weathering, no nothing. But look how good he looks there, man, stepping forward. Actually, that's great. I hope this video has not been too negative. I think it has actually been horrendously negative, but there's loads of good to talk about as well. Oh, the back of the card, nothing to report home on, really. They're so rubbish, the backs of these cards. What we really want is, see, VC186. We want a bit of that, man. I love all that. Then the backs of the cards were interesting. Thank you very much for watching this video. I have been only one Kenobi, only one. I'm just going to go on the figure again, just to give you another look at him. Yeah, as I said, I have reviewed him before. I opened him, and you know, I've talked about Blue Sky Fett for years. So if you go on YouTube and type only one Kenobi Blue Sky cardback Fett, you'll see an arsenal of videos that I've had for years. All different types and styles of video presentation where I've talked about this and begged and put it out there that I want it, and then we've got it. But I wouldn't mind it again. I'd like to see this in the retro collection as well, you know, that card back. And I wouldn't mind a reissue of this on an unpunched card if somehow that could be done. But yeah, he's cool. There he is. All right, thank you very much for watching. I have been only one Kenobi. That has been Boba Fett, and he's very topical right now in the Star Wars world. So yeah, Book of Boba Fett. The making of this video, the last episode will... Is it the last episode? Episode 7 will be this Wednesday, but why the hell that is, I don't know, because it should be 8 episodes in this series. Why 7? I just don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. I have been only one Kenobi. Only one. Out.